Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the plane. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to the Ironworx with Zach, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Beautiful day. It's a beautiful day.
Well, happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to the Ironworx, right here on Truth Frequency Radio. My name is Josh Corey, and I am just a little bit off my game today. Mainly because I had yesterday off. It was a long weekend, and I'll be damned if my brain just wasn't shifted into Ironworx gear. So I had stuff that was all discombobulated still from the long weekend. But let's just jump right in and say hello to a very good friend of mine, one Mr. Walter Johnson, who may also be found here on YouTube as Flat Earth Head. Walt, how the hell you doing?
Good morning, Josh. Fiat Lux. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good morrow, good all of that. Hope you're here, hope you're happy, hope you're awake, because I'm not. But that's cool. I'll get there. I've got coffee to pour on my brain. Well, some left. I'll have to make more for the break. Or who knows, I may sneak away before the break. It could be that kind of morning. How are you, Josh? Apparently you're not quite here yet, sir.
No, I have coffee brewed upstairs. I've just not had a chance to get up there and get it. So.
Oh, that's not good to hear. That's 30 minutes away.
Well,
apparently you might have to sneak away and go get some coffee.
I got a reburn or a reheat here in my cup, so I'll be all right till I'm not.
Cool deal. Cool deal. Wow, look at all the folks already over here on the chat. Good morning there. I see Liz, our Iron Maiden. I see Diva. There's Sean, Voynich. Nuka-Cola's already here this morning. Goodness, what kind of day is it going to be? Is this Tuesday? It is Tuesday. And could it be? Is that actually the Adam Meakin already awake and up and here in chat? Brian, what's up, Gaska? How are you, friend?
Happy birthday, Brian, by the way, which we missed over the weekend.
That today? I knew it was coming.
I don't think it was today. I think it was Saturday, maybe? Friday or Saturday.
Yeah,
it was over the weekend.
I remembered seeing something somewhere. Well, happy belated or besmirched or whatever it is. Glad to see you back around, brother. So, yeah, weekend. Woo. How was yours? Apparently got you a little bit off. Extended weekend.
I did an inordinate amount of sleeping this weekend, which is really strange for me. I slept in till like 5 a.m. on Saturday, Sunday, and yesterday. I took at least one nap a day for probably 3 or 4 hours. It's really strange. It's not like I was particularly tired. It just, for some reason, this weekend just seemed to hit me hard, and I just didn't have the energy I thought I would have for a nice long weekend. How about you, sir? How was your weekend?
Interesting. It was good. It was good. We just chilled. We stayed home. I went and did a little swimming at a friend's house. Was that Friday after the show or Saturday evening? One of the evenings as it was starting to cool off a bit. It's been too hot to swim in the daytime here. I mean, unless you if you want to be a boil-in bag, I guess. But other than that, it's not really too pleasant when it's, 108 according to the real temperature. I still don't get that one. Okay, if it feels like 103, it's 103. If it feels like 103, it's fucking 103. Oops, sorry. I just get so tired of seeing that idiocy when I click on my phone to see how bad it is hot, and it's hot. So, but yeah, if it's 103, it's 103. So that's just my opinion. I could be quite wrong. It happened before.
Damn heat
right
indices.
Here on the Ironworx, actually. Do what? I'm sorry.
Those damn heat indices. I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Man. And then we were supposed to get a little piece of some of that bizarre cold front that's swooping down. I think you guys got a little taste of it maybe this weekend.
Yeah, it's a little chillier, a little cooler.
Saw the the big green dip correctly on the map, because I was looking forward to maybe a little time in some 80s that feel like 95 or 98 rather than the 98s that feel like 112s. So, but I can't complain. I'm not on fire. Sorry to hear about all the crap going out there in the fire season, which is a ridiculous phrase for something that shouldn't even be a thing. But hey, you know, what am I? A geologist? A weatherologist? Wait, not geologist. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's too early. My brain can't think yet. Well, we're Zachless, and that's unusual.
That is unusual. I'm not sure where he is. I know he did spend the weekend trying to get things at least unloaded and into the Nodell's new house. So I don't know if he's helping him unpack and just wore himself slick and just had to sleep in today, which I can appreciate.
I can certainly appreciate that one for sure. I know moving is quite the undertaking.
Mm-hmm.
Quite the undertaking. I've been at this present location, I don't know now, I guess about 12 years, 10 years. It's been a minute. So it's been a while since I've actually done my own move. I've helped a few folks here and there that, you know, friends, that kind of thing. But the actual doing it for yourself and packing and the unpacking and the discarding and the figuring out what, you know, to do with it all again, quite interesting. But when you take your stuff to a new place to put your stuff, you got to figure out where to put your stuff. So
I don't know, Kimmy was having a hard time concentrating, getting stuff unpacked and put away. She just kept glancing out that rear window and gazing off into the woods longingly while she was stuck in there unpacking. So it may have been a longer process than anybody had anticipated.
that's when you start thinking, man, why do I have all this crap again? What was the purpose for all this excessive crap that I now am toting around on my back? Oh, Turtles got their whole house on their back and they're not loaded down. But hey, I just envy nature sometimes.
Yeah, me too. Well, crap, I don't know what we got going on today. We did have some news stories. We had a few things in the space lettuce pile to speak of, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
We did, indeed. I'm trying to actually get back to that thing. Oh, man, where is that pile? Oh, lettuce. We saw, or I saw, a few interesting things this weekend. Man, what is going on with my... I've been having Skype issues, actually, this weekend, too. I thought I had answered our buddy Adam in Skype at one point. I could have typed it and not sent it. I thought about that after the fact. I could have typed it and never hit send, or thought I hit send. So, but definitely having some issues with Skype this morning. I don't know. Don't know what's going on with it. But I do remember sticking some stories in there, some superconductor stories, maybe something about flowers from the sky. I don't know. Something like...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Some shit audio. All kinds of stories you put in there. I was kind of lax.
Oh, yeah. And then if you're dealing with a million tabs open, I'm looking at you, Walt. There was something about fixing that. I think I shared that around to a couple of our little groups because I know some other folks tend to be overly tabbed when they're doing their shows. I noticed, so at least I'm not the first one. Something about music, man. What is going on? I'm gonna have to reset. So I'm gonna let you talk, and I'm gonna see if I can get my Skype acting right.
Oh, well, excellent. You just leave me here to flounder.
Well, just for a second while I figure out why is the folder acting so bizarrely. I think I know why. I think it's because I left everything up from Friday and forgot and just ran in here like 2 seconds before the show started. So I never did that whole refreshment. So that's the issue, I'm sure. Because, you know, when you leave things just hanging on all weekend, yay, fun. Yay, fun. Yay, fun. We did have an exciting time over there Friday on our Having a Sphere show.
We did.
There was a momentous thing that happened, and I'm still trying to... Oh, our buddy Kelly Lay became our first Patreon.
That's
Patron.
right.
Patron, is that what they are? They're patrons of the saints, of the arts.
I think that's right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So, and then she sent us an email I saw that this morning when I was trying to play catch up. Unfortunately, on Friday, I pretty much unplugged from the electronic system and come back to it here on Tuesday morning, which works most of the time, except it's not working out this morning at all.
Well, you figured out I do have a story here from National Public Radio talking about the Hubble Space Telescope, saying the Hubble Space Telescope still works great, except when it doesn't.
So that's how it works.
That's how it works. That's science right there.
I think I sent you a story right before we started about a Hubble picture. Go ahead.
Did you?
I'm going to find out. I think I did. I really did, because it reminded me of a Star Trek movie, and then I opened the story, and they were talking about the Star Trek movie, so I thought that was unique.
Well, let's try this. Save me and everybody else from having to listen to me all morning.
The Hubble Space Telescope is whizzing around our planet at 17,000 miles per hour. This is a telescope that has shown us things like super detailed images of Saturn and gorgeous stellar nurseries where thousands of stars are born. Scientists who use Hubble eagerly await the images that are beamed down, but as NPR's Nell Greenfield-Boyce reports, they sometimes get a surprise.
The Hubble Space Telescope launched back in 1990. When Mike Brown was just getting started as a professional astronomer.
I've been using it pretty consistently for most of the last 30 years.
Brown works at Caltech, and recently he had an experience with Hubble that he's never had before. He got permission to use Hubble to do a detailed study of Jupiter's 4 largest moons. These moons are called the Galilean moons, since Galileo spotted them in the year 1610. Ganymede is the largest. It's actually the most massive moon in the solar system. It's bigger than the planet Mercury. And Brown says Ganymede has a huge magnetic field.
It is bizarre that it has that huge magnetic field. No other moons have magnetic fields that are measurable. We really don't have any idea why it would have such a strong magnetic field. Why would it have a magnetic field at all?
And then there's the 3 other moons of Jupiter that he wanted Hubble to peer at. Io, Europa, Callisto.
Io's got the volcanoes. Like, who doesn't love volcanoes? It's the most volcanically active place in the solar system. Europa has more liquid water than the Earth does. And Callisto, well, there's Callisto.
Callisto is just a boring cratered moon, but still, Hubble was going to look at them all. After Hubble was supposed to have checked out Ganymede, the data got beamed down, processed, and sent to Brown by email. He eagerly opened it up. There was nothing there.
Pretty much what you always do as a scientist. When you see something that didn't work, you're like, what did I screw up this time?
He checked and rechecked the instructions he sent to Hubble. They were fine. So, was Ganymede just inexplicably gone? Did a Death Star obliterate it? It might seem like anything is possible. This is, after all, the year 2020. But the reality is mundane. Hubble was just pointing at the wrong patch of sky. Brown says this kind of error quickly happened 2 more times.
I don't know if 3 times in a week is unusual or not, but it seems pretty unusual to me.
I called up the head of the Hubble mission at the Space Telescope Science Institute in Baltimore. Tom Brown, no relation to Mike Brown, told me that yes, Hubble does sometimes just aim in the wrong direction.
So it used to happen on the order of about 1% of the time. And these days it happens more like 5% of the time.
This is an aging telescope, after all. A couple years ago, when a gyroscope on Hubble failed, researchers activated one of its onboard spares, so-called Gyroscope 3. It's been glitchy from the get-go.
It tells you the telescope is moving around even when it's not.
Telescope operators compensate for this error, but sometimes it gets out of whack before they're able to adjust things. A disappointed researcher can submit a request to have a do-over, so they'll get their data eventually, assuming they weren't trying to see some once-in-a-million-years brief cosmic event. Brown says no one really knows why Gyroscope 3 is such a pain, and conceivably, it could get so bad they might have to turn that one off.
The biggest downside then is instead of having the entire sky available at any one time, we would have half the sky available at any one time.
Still, Hubble would remain enormously popular. Hundreds of teams get to use the telescope every year. They are the lucky ones. There is so much demand, the majority of proposed observations have to be rejected. Hubble is being used for fields that didn't even exist when it was launched, like studying planets that orbit distant stars.
Hubble really is a very unique resource for humanity. And once it's gone, I mean, a lot of people are not, are already dreading that day. But I think when it's gone, it's going to hit people even more hard.
He says Hubble could keep going for at least another 5 years. NASA has another big space telescope called the James Webb in the works, but it's not exactly like Hubble and won't launch before late next year. Nell Greenfield-Boyce, NPR News.
And now,
Well, that was something. That was actually more
That
than
was something.
more and less than what was written in the actual story. So it wasn't like the story wasn't a transcript of her audio, nor was her audio just a reading of the transcript. So that's something, I guess.
And I did find that picture. I finally got into the pile here, and it was a picture of the Nexus. If you're a fan of Star Trek, which I know I'm probably one of the few anymore, but in the Generations film, there was this thing that Malcolm McDowell was going to ride and then, I don't know, beat up Kirk. I don't remember the plot. It was really bad, but they had this spark that was going to come through and grab Kirk, and our McDowell's character's name is gone now from my head, and I promise you, the thing in that movie looks exactly like the picture I'm going to be using for my show description today, because I can't share it for you guys. They're on the tubes at the moment. Well, I could, but then we would definitely have a broken computer. But yeah, inside the Nexus, it was like some kind of magical world. You could go through time. Maybe that's what happened. We got hit by the Cygnus loop here anyway, but yeah, it's some kind of leftover remnants from a supernova that happened back in 91. Is that what I remember reading here? I'm trying to go back through the story. I was kind of looking for the best picture to share, and of course I remember at the last second I can't share it, but that's okay.
I can do it.
You can do it. You got it? Are you sharing that picture of the Nexus? Okay, people, if anyone believes that really happened anywhere in space, I don't even know what to do for them anymore. I really don't. Oh, I don't really know.
No, yeah, I saw them discussing this over on Jaren's channel maybe over the weekend, and just the ridiculousness of that pure perfection. Like, I can't imagine that's an actual photo. Surely they're telling people that's just another image.
W. Blair, Leo Schatz, ESA, Hubble, NASA. So it's got lots of credits under it. Whatever that means in the bigger scheme of things. It took that many teams to create the fake image. Would that be a fair assessment?
Probably. Probably so, because, it's tough. Photoshop's hard.
It is hard. I gave up on it. I'll just throw my little stuff on Pixlr and be happy.
Space is hard.
It is. It is. It is. All too hard. Well, I'll be sad when old Hubble goes away for sure. But aren't we getting a new super scope? Isn't that happening? Didn't we talk about that?
Oh, yeah.
So we should all just relax. Why is everybody tripping?
Well, because it's not quite the same as the Hubble. It's the James Webb. I think I saw they just got the mirror finished, a near perfect mirror, they called it.
So am I not the only one? Am I the only one that remembers how many trips it took for them to fix the Hubble and put the glasses on it when it started having bad vision and all those things? Am I the only one that remembers that it didn't go up top notch right out the gate? I just, if you're gonna sell your lie, you got to sell it all the way. It can't be perfect to get going with it. It has to at least incur about 20 or 30 quadrillion-dollar trips up there to fix it. Sorry.
Well, that's just it. It's always going to take more time and more money. No matter how much time and money you think it's going to take, they make sure it takes more time and more money. But I think Jaren had addressed that as well, because it's a great way to back your funders into a corner. If you get $3 billion to build the James Webb telescope and you figure, okay, we'll have your $3 billion telescope done in 2 years. And when it's Now, 3.5 years on, and you're asking for another $2 billion to finish your James Webb Telescope. They don't have little choice. Either waste the $3 billion they gave you to get where you've gotten, or just go ahead and pay the extra $2 billion so that you can finish it. I mean, it's just extortion is all it is. Timed extortion. That's why nobody ever comes out on budget and on time.
Sounds about right. Well, there you go. Speaking of time, it was 4:20 when I found this story, and I was going to share it, but we got excited about the scope. So, but apparently in Tel Aviv, God is raining down marijuana upon the unsuspecting folks there. No, really and truly, a weed drone has apparently dropped hundreds of bags of cannabis. I mean, think about it. It starts to rain little tiny baggies filled with marijuana. Dancing in the street would just have to break out, I would think.
I would think.
Apparently, somebody is very happy and has lots of extra fields of fun. I don't know. Pot's not legal in Israel, but there's no shortage of people there who want to see it, change its legalization status. Politicians, lobbyists, there's lots of news conferences. They do what they can, just like we did here in the States, to, bump up and support the cause, if you will. But apparently now technology has resulted in a new technique for lobbying. They are now dispensing free bags of weed from above. At least that's the strategy of a small group in Israel that just dropped a bunch of pot onto Rabin Square in Tel Aviv. This is from the Jerusalem Post. It said a Telegram group calling itself Green Drone had planned the operation in advance. It sent out a Telegram message informing people when and where the drop would take place. Hey, I'm on Telegram. So here's the message. It's time, my dear brothers. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's the Green Drone, handing out free cannabis from the sky. Enjoy, my beloved brothers. This is your pilot brother making sure we all get some free love. I'll include a picture of the amazing drone carrying its lovely cargo beneath for you guys in the show description. This is great. In the book of Exodus, the Israelites found that the food they had carried with them from Egypt had run out. Just when it all looked hopeless, things changed one morning. When the dew had evaporated, it revealed a bounty of food waiting to be picked up from the ground. It is this biblical incident from which the phrase manna from heaven originated. It means something that is needed, arriving out of the blue at exactly the right time. Yeah, sounds like exactly what was going on there in Tel Aviv. Folks are in pictures here gathering up the little baggies. That's that's one of the reactions. Unfortunately, the police did arrest 2 suspects in their 30s right after this amazing event took place. The pair, the police said, were operating the drone that had been dropping the dope. These little baggies, by the way, were nicely branded with the green drone thing. That's awesome. The idea of delivering weed by drone is not new. There have been many drops of contraband, including pot, at North American prisons, an extreme example of the law of supply and demand, of course. Even in areas where pot is legal, drone delivery poses a challenge. How to ensure it reaches its intended customers, how to prevent teens or children from grabbing at whatever might be there with them, like candies, gummies, that kind of thing. The demand for delivered goods is up with, all of our COVIDiocy going on right now. There was actually a few places when I was in Oregon that would deliver it to you, but I did not see any of them offering drone deliveries as of that point in time. Let's see. This goes on for quite a bit. But basically, as I said, I'm on Telegram, and I like drones. And hint, if you're listening, there, Green Drone.
Oh, look at that. How's that for timing?
I tried to do it. I really did. And I did it with Owl Clock, so thank you very much.
Well done, sir. Well, I'll be damned if this hasn't been the first segment of the Ironworks. Right here at Truth Frequency Radio, 26 minutes past the hour. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Walt and Josh missing Zach this morning, but we'll be right back after these brief messages.
Discover the extraordinary powers of intuitive healing with pain transmutation, a method of holistic healing for the human soul, body, mind, and emotions. If you are looking for answers and a deep understanding of how to help yourself and the people around you to live a happier, healthier life, this is the right place for you. Learn how to read your soul's history in the Akashic Records. Remove negative energy attachments from your astral body and start the process of inner and outer pain transmutation. Join Pain Transmutation Community to get started on the path of intuitive healing. Change your energetic state, manifest new and exciting experiences, re-energize your life, and build inspiring connections with others in our community.
Hey folks, guess what the number one phrase that Life Change Tea receives by email? You ready? We love this tea. We love this tea. Time after time, week after week, we love this tea. Life Change Tea gives you more energy, a beautiful cleansing, and fulfills its slogan perfectly. The tea that makes you go. So if you want to be on your health game, log on to getthetea.com and order Life Change Super Strength Tea. Packages come in a 1-month supply, and when you brew this stuff, wait until you see the results. Aren't we all about the results? And with a lot of people's health struggling, we can use a little bit of help. Doctors will tell you disease starts in the gut. So log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Be our next email saying, I love this tea. I love this tea. Get the tea at getthetea.com. Helping America one tea bag at a time.
Once in a decade, a true story comes along that remembers the future. After 6 Amazon bestsellers, I have completed the epic Birth Trilogy, a true story of Earth. By reading the Birth Trilogy, you will journey with the characters from the origin of Earth to its final destiny in a white-knuckle ride that combines the intrigue of Tom Clancy with the epic scope of Prometheus and Interstellar. You will learn more about the purpose of life, the mystery of death, and the true nature of your soul than you thought possible. The Birth Trilogy is now available on Amazon and Kindle. The audio version is a free bonus when you buy the paperback, so even if you're not a great reader, don't worry about it. I read it for you. Use the Amazon app today and buy the Birth Trilogy, spelled B-E-A-R-T-H, or search for my name. I'm Brooks Agnew.
No hate, no hype, no fear. We are TFR, your protection from deception.
iron you need to get what you want.
And welcome back. Second segment of the Ironworks kicking off right now. Zach is MIA this morning. We suspect he is soundly sleeping off a hard weekend of moving and arranging and unpacking and all that good stuff. So it's just your old pals, Walt and Josh, hanging out this morning.
Like the old days.
Just like the old days. That's right. Kicking it old school.
That's it. Looks like Adam in chat earlier said that he checked with, oh man, I lost it. I had it highlighted. Why does that keep happening? Me highlighting somebody's comment and then it goes away. Apparently it's pretty common. Apparently this herbal droppage that occurred over there in that part of the world, because his friend that he had the show with, which I cannot find, was it near Esh News? Am I remembering that right?
Esh, I think it was just Esh News, as I recall.
Esh News. The buddy guy was near, something like that. I can't remember. It's been too long, and I can't find the comment. My apologies, Adam. Also, shout out to our buddy Sean Oko, who he and his friend have undertaken a CBD company. Shout out. Give us some info on that when you get it all together, my friend, and we will definitely be glad to say a few kind words about it. I've had a few different ones over the years that have been quite effective, and some not so much. Near at Esh News. Thank you, Adam. I tried. The brain did have it locked in, just all out of order. And I'm playing catch up in chat. We can't do that when there's only two of us.
No, it's hard to do with just two of us.
It's easier when there's three. You cover CYA or C your A. I don't know. Anyway,
see your own A.
See your A. That don't sound right at all.
And I even missed some stories. There were some stories in the pile that I didn't get included in the headlines. I'm pretty sure I say that. I don't know. I was just in a copy paste frenzy this morning when I got down here, trying to get everything set up.
That's cool. You did good. You put a lot of stuff there.
I'm trying to figure out which one I'm going to go with. Did COVID-19 come from space, or is there still air leaking out of the ISS into the vacuum of space? I don't know. There's just so many crazy stories to get into.
Hey, I saw that your prediction came true, and I meant to include that story, and then you included it before I did, sir.
Which one was that?
The flatulent-driven
that's
administration of the COVID bug, as it, it's just mirage. They say things morph as they become diseases. They morph and change. Well, apparently it morphed out of our butts.
There it is.
Oh, my God. Unfortunately, the site that we're currently using for our T-shirts does not have a butt plug that we can put our logo on it at present, but I'm digging around. I will come up with one.
See, I think if we included that story, I bet you we've made a request. They could probably do something. I bet you.
I bet they would. They're a pretty accommodating group. Shout out to Teespring. Well, that ought to get us 10 free shirts, right?
Right, exactly. Or at least 10 free butt plugs.
Or at least.
But yeah, apparently they're spreading the coronavirus through your farts. So again, I think the only good thing to do is just to plug that hole right up. Just plug it up. That way. Well, just for public safety. I mean, it might be a little uncomfortable for you, but you know how many porn stars have taken butt plugs? I mean, it's not going to kill you. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just wear your COVID butt plug and be happy. Use it as a virtue signal. Tell everybody you're wearing it. Make sure everybody's wearing their butt plug. Go around, check. Just check to see. And if they're not, shame them. Give them public shame for not wearing their COVID butt plug. What kind of world do we live in?
Indeed. I was looking again, trying to play catch up in chat because I'm just old habits die hard, and I noticed that Liz received some fluoride-free toothpaste. I bet I know where she got it. I know a guy. Sorry. Yeah, that's awesome, Liz. If it came from our buddy Adam Meekin, it's quite tasty and quite effective. So shout out to that, and we'll probably, have to get back on that one day.
Yeah,
one day. Goodness, sorry.
No, made me laugh too, Walt. So apparently, back in the 20th of August,
Uh-huh.
It was reported that there was a cabin breach, and it forced 3 of the crew members on the ISS into the Russian segment, while the U.S. tried to investigate where this cabin breach came from. This is what I was reading. It says NASA has admitted that it has still not found the source of a mysterious air leak in the International Space Station, despite their frantic search now entering its 3rd week. The cabin breach, disclosed on August 20th, has forced the station's 3 crew members into the Russian segment while the U.S. Space Agency investigates. NASA astronauts Chris Cassidy and cosmonauts Ivan Wagner and Anatoly Ivanishin are not said to be in danger. As the search continues aboard the ISS, which orbits roughly 250 miles above the Earth. 250 miles above the Earth, with a hole in it. But apparently there's no danger. It's cool. Investigators had said
So
they always...
now, is this the album cover hole?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Hole? This is a whole different hole.
A whole different hole. They found it 3 weeks ago. So I'm saying how we missed this story is beyond me.
Yeah, I'm flabbergasted.
But investigators had said that they wanted to solve the problem within a few days, but have now admitted the search is taking, quote, taking longer than expected. Investigators said that, did they? Not the astronauts doing the searching, but some unnamed investigators that are now aboard the ISS too. NASA's Daniel Hout told Business Insider on Tuesday that most of the station's compartments had been ruled out as sources of the leak. He added that the review should be completed in the coming days. It follows a now infamous incident 2 years ago in which a hole discovered on the ISS was found to have been drilled from inside the spacecraft. Investigators are said to have concluded that the breach was the result of a botched repair job carried out by the Russian mechanics on Earth, not their android mechanic that they have up there. Sure. NASA first...
Oh, that's right. I forgot they have a little buddy up there now.
Well, they have a couple. One's just a ball that floats around.
Why
The other
don't
one
I
was
see
like
those in none of the videos, or am I just not watching the right videos anymore?
Maybe we're just not watching the right videos. Maybe those are the patron only videos.
Oh, is that what it is?
I think so. Yeah, you have to sign up for NASA's Patreon. They got to make money somehow, as if billions and billions and billions of taxpayer dollars wasn't enough. No, I don't know. I just don't know. Seems really strange. It just kind of rambles on here. NASA first spotted signs of the newly disclosed cabin breach in September of 2019. I thought it was August. See, I'm just not buying this story now. Things aren't adding up even in the...
Well, what's your problem with the story from our space brethren? I don't understand your...
I think it's a bot.
Hesitance.
I think it's a bot. The ISS regularly leaks tiny amounts of air, but not quite as
it would
much.
have to, right? It always is getting hit with little micro meteors, right? Isn't that the story?
That's the story.
They can't possibly have like a self-sealing thing going on, or we wouldn't be hearing about these whole stories. So, yeah, it must be like a sieve up there by now.
Sure. The
Or a
ISS
colander, I saw in chat.
or a colander, depending on the day of the month. ISS crew has spent 2 weeks in the Zvezda service module, having closed the hatches on the U.S. section of the orbiting space lab. Investigators are attempting to identify the source of the leak by studying data from the station's various modules. The teams are working on a plan to isolate, identify, and potentially repair the source. Maybe not. Maybe we'll just leave the hole there. I mean, I'm sure it's not like you're operating on a really thin margin here. You just have as many holes not as many as you want, but...
Well, I mean, they have atmosphere all the way past the moon at this point now, so I don't think they're even worried about it. They know they can just take a deep breath.
Just take a deep breath and sure.
Good to go.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hell, it's rusting the moon, isn't it?
Oh, that's right. Rusty Moon and the Good Time Boys.
See,
Sorry.
I'm familiar with a rusty trombone. I'm just not quite sure what a rusty moon is, though it just seems like it's poor personal hygiene is all a rusty moon is. But if specialists can't identify the source of the leak, they'll have to come up with a new plan. A new plan for what? You didn't identify anything. The NASA and Russian Space Agency Roscosmos have stressed that neither the crew nor the space station are believed to be in jeopardy because holes are not a major issue. The last major air leak on the station was discovered 2 years ago and sparked a rare public war of words between NASA and Roscosmos. A drop in pressure led to the identification of a hole in the Russian Soyuz capsule attached to the orbital station overnight on August 30th, 2018. So 2 years to the day, pretty much, they found holes. Quit it. Just quit it. Station crew quickly patched the breach by plugging it with strong glue and gauze. Sure.
Wait. Okay.
You know, like, just imagine if, say, you didn't have a place to live and you were all strung out on methamphetamines and your shelter was leaking rain, you would want to fix your homeless tweaker shelter in some way. So,
in some way, you got to fix it, right?
Super glue and gauze, because why not? Initially, it was thought that the damage could have been caused by a micrometeorite piercing the spacecraft, but in September 2018, a space source speaking to Russia's official TASS news agency claimed that the signs of drilling had been found around the hole. You know, because it's really hard to drill a hole, so you got to take 5 or 6 attempts and leave it.
How did I know we were going to circle back around to the butt plug story here somewhere in a minute?
Uh-oh. Russia's space agency head Dmitry Rogozin, a close ally of Vladimir Putin, then raised the possibility of sabotage. Cue Beastie Boys? But he said the hole was made by a drill, either while the capsule was on Earth or in space, by someone with a, quote, wavering hand. NASA then issued a counter-statement arguing that the ruling out the defects does not necessarily mean the hole was created intentionally or with malintent. Then ISS Commander Alexander Gerst later confirmed the hole was the result of a faulty repair job that was inadequately performed by mechanics on the ground. A formal Russian investigation concluded in September of 2019, but the results are top secret, even with NASA boss Jim Bridenstine expressing frustration at being kept out of the loop. So the fucking ISS is just falling apart up there, apparently. Just holes miraculously appearing, drops in pressure. Who knows what the hell's going to happen? Maybe that's what we need, is a good international incident as the whole thing comes crashing down. Like in a major populated area, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. What did I just read and didn't include? I should have included it. Damn it. Oh, it was when they put up some kind of satellite over in another country that I am not remembering. Was it China, perhaps? One of the Japanese? One of the other space agencies from another country launching a satellite, and when the expelled launcher came crashing down, it almost hit a school?
I think that was China, yeah.
Was China, okay.
I do believe.
We're so jaded. We don't even put the good stories in anymore because we're just so tired of hearing this shit. Oops. Damn, mouth, stop. Space Jaded. Band name, called it. Damn it. That's the opening act for Rusty Moon and the Good Time.
So I've seen a few stories floating around Facebook and Twitters and stuff of people outraged that companies were ordering COVID-19 tests back in 2017. They're just not quite able to wrap their minds around how that's working out, you know, or they're just now starting to wake up a little bit. But I guess the real question is, where in the hell did COVID-19 come from? If they were able to order these tests 2 years ago, Why is it just now showing up in 2020? Where? Oh, where did COVID-19 come from? So there's a story here in the Baltimore Sun. Few have probably noticed that throughout the current year, this column has refrained from referencing or acknowledging the ongoing worldwide COVID-19 pandemic. The reason for the omission is simply that this column for astronomy and space exploration, and thus the current pandemic, is irrelevant in that regard. But what if that wasn't always the case for historical pandemics? Could there have possibly been some connection between the cosmos and previous plagues of highly infectious diseases? The question is one that has been advanced before. I think this is going to be a hard read. There was once a lecture by the late British astronomer Sir Fred Hoyle. What's that?
It's hurting me already. Sorry, my computer's acting up.
No, yeah, it's not the best. Anyway, Sir Fred Hoyle at the university laboratory where I was working at the time. Hoyle is best known for coining the term Big Bang to describe the famous theory that all matter and energy comprising of the physical universe started out as a hot, dense singularity and suddenly took off to become the expanding observable universe that we see before us today. Hoyle was skeptical of the theory, and he used the term in derision of the theory. Curiously, however, the name stuck and as it was embraced by the theory's proponents. Similar to the story of how the rock band Led Zeppelin got its name, which is beyond the scope of this article. Jesus. Hoyle's fundamental hypothesis was that the material from comets, asteroids, and even meteorites have at times directly shaped and even changed the course of human history. We know that asteroids are thought to have we know what asteroids are thought to have done to the dinosaurs. Mass extinction. But what about their effect to humans? A common type of meteorite found in many private collections consists of a metallic nickel iron. Imagine if a tribe of pre-Iron Age humans discovered a fairly large meteorite of this type. It would provide them a direct source of metal without the need to develop the technologies needed for mining the ore and forging the iron. With a ready supply of raw iron, they could fabricate tools such as knives, arrowheads, and spear points, and therefore boost their efficiency in hunting prey, with which to feed their people, and generating leisure time, during which they might make new discoveries sooner than they would have without meteoritic iron. In battling other humans, their metal weapons could have won the local arms race, allowing them to change history by defending themselves from extinction or conquering others and dominating their world. Oh my God. You know what? I'm just going to skip. Few scientists today believe that COVID-19 came from space. The accepted source location is the Chinese city of Wuhan. What is in dispute currently is where in that city the virus originated. Did it come from a meat market? Did it escape from a Chinese virology lab right next door? Was its release accidental or intentional? The answers are still being investigated and debated, but hopefully will be answered in time. Meanwhile, a paper this year entitled Comments on the Origin and Spread of the 2019 Coronavirus from a team led by, holy cow, I don't know. They did some, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to go. So far, comets are still presumed innocent. The apparition this summer of the beautiful comet C 2020 F3, Neowise, was a joyous sight to behold and nothing for those living under the pandemic to fear. Curtis Roel over at the Baltimore Sun. That was definitely some words. You definitely put some words together there, Curtis, and we appreciate your valiant effort. Well, somebody, I'm sure, appreciates it. It just kind of pissed me off, but there we go. Apparently, no. All that rambling just to say, nope, COVID-19 did not come from space. Cool story, bro.
But I'm sure before it's over with, somebody's going to take it up there.
Oh, sure, sure.
That'll be their next little play.
Got to infect all the astronauts. For sure, for sure.
So, how much time do we have? Probably just enough time to switch gears and take a complete left or right. I'm not sure which direction this would be, but this story was really bizarre. And as a musician, I can't believe I missed this. But there is a world of strange, bizarre music out there, and different people have different, ways to stand out. Well, apparently, a church in Germany has been playing a musical piece for, let's see now. Instead of me going through the thing looking for that date, let me just share this with you. A John Cage musical work changes chord for the first time in 7 years. So fans have flocked to a church in Germany to hear a chord change in a musical composition that lasts for 639 years. This work is by the avant-garde American composer John Cage. There's a video, which I'm assuming would have the audio while I'm reading this, Josh. I just noticed. I didn't notice that, or I would have said something in the notes. But apparently it began 19 years ago with a pause, which is actually called a rest in music. A rest lasting nearly 18 months. The change of chord took place on the specially built organ on which the composition is being performed. The St. Burkhardi Church in the city of Halberstadt, sure I murdered both those names, started playing the music in 2001, and the last note change took place back in 2013. Now, the church picture, if there's ever been a mud flood building, I will share that picture as well for you guys in the show description. But it is just stained, and it almost looks scorched. So definitely something for you there, Daz. The score is made up of 8 pages of music to be played at the piano or organ very slowly. But the wait for the next scheduled chord change will be quick in comparison. February 5th of 2022 is the date for the next chord change. The piece is going to end in 2640. Hey, where are you gematria people at? My brain's just breaking trying to figure it all out. Cage, who died in 92 at the age of 79, wrote the piece in the 1980s. Oh, quit with the numbers. Okay, the composer is arguably most famous for 4 feet 33 inches, apparently a title of another one of his numerology pieces. The 3-movement composition from 1952, oh, come on, stop this, is for any combination of instruments, but instructs performers not to play them. Listeners instead hear the sound of the surrounding environment for the 4 minutes and 33 seconds that the work lasts. Okay.
Right. Sounds like something.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see what they have to say. Come on, do something.
The anticipation is killing me.
You know, I could probably even...
I hope it lasts.
Do this. Watch. I can do stuff. There. Now at least people on YouTube can see what I see. And
Okay,
why
I
it's
hope
so
it changes.
frustrating.
The suspension chord is killing me.
Was that it?
Oh. Ooh. Oh. Yeah.
Wow. The shit that passes for music these days. That's something. Oh my goodness. Well, you guys try to absorb what the hell just happened there. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back after these messages for the second half of the Ironworks right here on Truth Frequency Radio.
Truth Frequency Radio is your number one source for news and information without the hate, hype, and fear. We're proud to feature cutting-edge programs like The Christopher Everard Show, The Covert Report with Susan Lindauer, Enemy Within Radio with Tom Barnes, Freaky Friday with The Woo Crew, The Gematria Effect with Zachary Hubbard, America's Evil Genius with Travis Cook, Phoenix Rising Radio with Phoenix, Quantum Connections with Lucky, and dozens more. Did you know you can listen from any telephone by dialing 641-793-7117 or call into your favorite show toll free at 833-TFR Live. Uncensored talk and news you won't hear in the mainstream media. Truth Frequency Radio, your protection from deception.
A chaotic night across the country. I'm Carmen Roberts, Fox News. Police in Los Angeles respond to protest with rubber bullets and tear gas while protesters take to the streets in Salem, Oregon, Seattle, and in Rochester, New York, where Daniel Prude died.
Prude's brother joining demonstrators at the public safety building who reiterated their demands for the mayor and police chief to resign.
Our officials failed to protect our community and put us in danger.
In Los Angeles, police setting up barriers overnight to deter protesters after reportedly dispersing crowds with rubber bullets, tear gas, and flashbang grenades. And in Seattle, police seen breaking down a barricade set up by protesters. 22 people were arrested in demonstrations.
Fox's Jackie Ibanez. Police in Salem, Oregon, arresting 2 people after seen tackling counter-protesters. Former NFL football player Herschel Walker calling on local leaders to put an end to rioting across the country. In a video posted to Twitter yesterday, Walker argued that rioters should get federal time for destroying cities and citizens' businesses. In California, the mission to rescue a group of campers at Edison Lake and China Peak will resume at daylight. Some 50 people trapped by the creek fire. Lieutenant Paul Hahn explains why helicopters were unable to land for a rescue.
We're looking at a situation where there is not only burning vegetation and extreme heat, high winds, but also smoke and very difficult terrain in an already difficult area in the best of circumstances. And getting in there while it's burning is definitely just going to escalate the difficulty.
America's listening to Fox News.
Wherever you are, make it Truth Frequency Radio.
It is Tuesday, my dudes.
Good morning. I'm here.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Okay, dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there. There was one?
Good morning to you. Start your day off bright and shiny. Get up off your little hiney and begin your happy day.
Sorry, I somehow ended up killing Walt a little early, and that totally threw me off because I had about 5 or 6 seconds more to do what I needed to do. Anyway, welcome back to the second half of the Ironworx right here on Truth Frequency Radio. Just Walt and Josh hanging out with you. No Zachary Zabala this morning. Sleep well, Zach. We love you. We miss you. Give our best to all the Nodells and enjoy their new home. Anyway, that was the dumbest bit of music I've ever heard. And there's a room full of people there to hear that chord change. I'm still not even sure if that was the chord change or if they just switched to a different mic. But I don't know. It was
something.
It was something. Definitely something. Nothing. That's the best way I could describe it. That was not nothing.
Sorry, I'm actually still having to close a couple of things. I had too many tabs open. Hey, there's a story about that. Oh, you can't write this stuff. Okay. Let me close one more thing. That should help. Okay. Yeah, while we're talking about open tabs, let's see what this actually is. It's probably some kind of app or some kind of add-on to your Chrome browser or something, I'm sure. What is this? Okay. If you're drowning in a sea, what's going on? Something clicked up on my page in the way. Oh, it's an offer. Let me turn this offer off. Okay, so, oh, wow, I'm not that bad. You should see this picture. Goodness. All right, so, tabs are your problem. You've got too many open. Here's ways to manage them. Really, is this all this is? Is a tutorial? I thought it was some kind of new, amazing thing. Okay, never mind. We're not going to do a tab tutorial, are we really? I mean, there's browser options, apparently, that you can make tab groups. Didn't know. See, it's just because I'm so technically inept. That's all this is. There's third-party options. See, I knew there would be. How did I know there would be? I bet they're paid. You want to bet? Does anyone want to bet? Where'd this story come from? Oh, well, now I see that answers everything. That was who was sending me little offers minutes ago on my page. Is the person's website here. So never mind. Sorry. Rewind that. Okay, we're back.
That's pretty good. Well, look who it is.
What am I hearing?
You're hearing Unkaleko Duma hop on.
Nuka-Cola.
Welcome, Unkaleko.
What's up, guys?
How are you doing this fine day?
I'm doing great. Doing a little bit of spring cleaning since it's spring my side. And I saw somebody's missing, so I'll hop on for 10 minutes or so.
Well, awesome. We're surely glad you did. I do love a good surprise.
Absolutely. Good morning, friend. Morning. How are things there?
Same old. How are things your side? Riots, fires, everything happens to you guys.
Best apocalypse ever.
Just another day in 2020.
Yeah, another day in 2020.
Drones dropping weed from the sky. What are y'all complaining about? I don't see the problem here. 2020's been rocking, apparently.
I heard that, but weed is legal in my country, so it's not something surprising.
No big deal for them. Right. Cool deal. What time is it there? What day is it there? I know you're on a different time zone thing. What is it there?
Tuesday, 12:05.
Okay, you're a little bit in that same region, sort of. Adam and them, just an hour or so off, I think. Cool.
Yeah, just an hour.
What you got going on, man? I know you're always a busy guy, active, and so there's no protest there in your country?
I'm a little busy with building some apartments. But yeah, there's no protest for anything in our country except for, people are easily offended these days. Some pharmacy store, they sell hair products as well, put out an ad that was deemed a little racist, was talking about natural hair and, white hair and all that crap. And now people are burning some stores down because they're rioting. But that's just about it.
What?
Yeah. Things here, from what we're told on MSM, pretty crazy. That being said,
all the time.
When I talk to my family in Oregon, they don't really seem to be overly concerned with all the stuff that we're told is going on in the news because they're not really seeing all that. So I don't know what to tell y'all. I really don't. And I actually have a niece who's headed over to Portland because she's, young and mind controlled by television. So that'll be another person that I will personally know over in the middle of where we're told the end of days is occurring. So we'll find out. I know here locally there was a shooting in a town about 45 minutes away, and there was marches in the road for a day or two, and then that was it. It was over. There was no craziness. There was no shootings, beatings, bombings, fire. There was none of that shit. Well, there was a couple of idiots early on from Georgia that were here trying to start that shit, and they were quickly run out of town because you ain't from around here, are you, boy? Anyway, yeah, we don't play that shit.
And how's the family, guys? You guys still being viewed as dumbasses for Flat Earth?
Probably.
Most likely.
They know better than to try to call me out on it, I think. Because I think at this point they know that it's going to be, A, pointless to even try, but B, more like an exercise in frustration, trying to convince me of something. No matter how stupid and simply they think they can dismiss it, I'm sure they understand after 43 years of having to deal with me that it's not going to make any difference. I'll still be able to stand there for 3 days just droning on and on about why I think I'm right and why I think they're wrong, regardless of whether they believe it or not. So I think they just know better than to not even waste their time and just smile and nod whenever I'm around.
Well, I wish they'd do that to me. My father, in his infinite wisdom, has decided I'm no longer welcomed in the family home, which legally is actually my house left by my grandfather, his father, whatever. But he won't give me the keys. So I did what any good son would do is I bought our neighbor's house, and now I'm building an even bigger house.
Nice.
That's really awesome.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that things have come to that, but it's good that you have a secondary plan.
He's just being a douche. And he's a lawyer, so anything I do legally, he's all got the connections. But whatever.
And all of this is based on your view of what you think the Earth looks like? Sure.
Oh, no, we've always been at loggerheads.
Gotcha.
But it's just another cap on a feather, you know?
Uh-huh.
He's just like, you are such a dumbass. And I was like, well, you're the dumbass. And he goes, well, but I'm the lawyer, and you're not a lawyer. And I'm like, okay, whatever, then. You win.
So you're a very specific kind of dumbass. Congratulations.
I can't wait for my house to go up so he can stay in my shade.
So you're a real slimy, evil dumbass. No, sorry.
Parents, what are you gonna do?
As with the family thing, I mean, when I came back from Oregon, it was full masks. Literally, I looked at the mother-in-law walk out the house to go get the garbage cans and put a fucking mask on. So that's where we were when I left in June. And being, talked to on the way to the airport about I should really take a really serious look at some of this. And I'm just shaking my head going, look, we've already had the discussions about how biology really works. Remember, I was a biology major, and how the masks really work. Remember, you used to work in a fucking hospital, and what full gear is about for actual protection. We had that discussion already, so there's really no point in having this discussion. So that's what I left with. Now, since that time and the phone conversations, none of that's come up. And it didn't matter what I showed them, what I pointed out, what I, in their face. Here's the fucking fact, not me going, oh, maybe this. Here's a written proof on the site, or if, biology or a doctor or whatever. And that just was in one ear and out the other, because that's just more crazy wall stuff with his flat earth and his, what was it before flat earth? It was something crazy, I'm sure. So yeah, that's kind of where I got it. But no, I don't believe they would have kicked me out of the house. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
It's all good. I was staying
In spite of that, we still love each other. In spite of our different opinions about the world, we're family. So that's what I never have understood about when people get to this point. It's still your family, no matter what is going on here. That being said, my dad and I never got along, so.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yes. Fathers and sons, eh?
Well, it almost sometimes feels like that, but they're family. Blood is thicker than water, and, family's always going to be there. You should always be there for your family. It feels a lot of times like it's more of just that conditioning, that emotional plea to condition you to think a certain way. I'm sure there are plenty of people who have been hurt and abused by members of their family that can easily write them off and never speak to them again, basically because of the fact that blood in that regard is not any thicker than water. When someone can treat you in such a way as you are not family, proves that the fact that you're family is completely irrelevant, right? Just because your family does not create some magical connection where they're not allowed to treat you like shit, right? You still shouldn't need to have that toxicity in your life, even if they are family. So at some point you have to learn to just separate yourself. And yes, they are family, but that doesn't give them any special privileges. It doesn't give them any special rights. It doesn't give them the right to treat you like a piece of shit, but you're family. And all too often that's what it is. It becomes just sort of a comfortable, convenient punching bag where families can take out all of their shit on each other and just expect it to be okay.
I see your point there, sir. I do indeed. I don't know. It's just tough because I guess I was fortunate enough to be raised in a family that was really close at one point. Now I say that, and then we're all spread apart and haven't talked in years and everything else. But truly, if any of my cousins called me right now in a situation that would be something that would be extreme for me to help them with, I would still drop everything and help them with it, because that's how I was raised. I don't know. I know what you're saying, because my father and I never, until his death, literally saw eye to eye on anything, never agreed. We came to some understandings before he passed and had some time together and said some things that needed to be said, thank goodness. But it wasn't like we created some amazing relationship or anything. So, yeah, I do get both sides of the coin, truly. I can see exactly what you're both saying as far as that, but I also know, I don't know. I mean, truly, during the thing going on with my mom, my brother and I almost came to blows. Like, truly, like, it was fists up. And my sister stopped it because we were just, so emotionally fucking out of our skulls that things were just raw. So, but we both hugged it out and got over it. I don't know. It's a tough thing. It really is. It really is.
Well, I think, family also is, I think somebody wrote in chat there about the feeling. Because you can have friends that are family to you because they've basically done more than, your actual family.
Dude, if you called me right now, Luca, I would head to South Africa for you, my friend. That's how much I love you. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It doesn't have to be blood.
Yeah, and in my country, especially the black population all come from clans. So what usually happens is you actually belong to a clan. So my surname is Duma. So I come from the Duma clan. And the Duma clan has an oral history. It's called an oral history. The real word is Izi Tarazelo, which is a direct translation, which means when we were invaded by the British, and we basically, our clans and people stopped fighting each other and decided they were going to fight our invaders with shields and spears while they had guns, which was a little stupid, but how your particular clan performed, you were given a oral history. So see, my oral history means ocean. It means big ocean. It says I'm the one that is cooked with a rock, but the rock got ripe first, meaning I'm hard-headed, meaning a lot of the people in our clans have been hard-headed. And they were hard-headed during those wars and when we were fighting even other tribes, and that's how they got that oral history. So if you walk around and you meet other people and they have the same surname, the culture is you're supposed to say their oral history and they say it back to you. So there's a bunch of different surnames with all different oral histories. And again, that means you guys are family. Like instantly, you can be in the biggest city in the world and I meet another Duma and I say the oral history and they know it and they say it back to me and they say the whole thing. That's family. You are considered family. And
I like
the
that,
feeling of
it's amazing.
And the feeling of family, the best way I could describe it was when somebody passed away in my family and we had to go back to our traditional homelands like the farms where there's cattle, horses, and all that stuff. I did not feel as close to my family more than I did that time. When we were there was hundreds of us, all under the same night sky, beautiful stars in the freaking cold, with all these animals, and it's so rural and everything. And I felt like nothing was expected of me but just being there. That's the only time I actually felt like this is what family feels like. So it is a complicated concept, I guess.
It really is. And that's sort of the point I was trying to make, that I have zero doubt in my mind that Walt would jump up for any one of his friends just as quickly as he would for any one of his family, which I think then tends to speak to my point that blood really is not any thicker than water. It all depends on your heart, your attitude, and how you treat human beings. And I think that's what it is. I think family is best described as who you choose to surround yourself with versus whose loins you were birthed from. I think there's a lot to be said for genetics. Who I am is a lot like who my dad was and his father before him. The Corey boys are pretty well known throughout the family. There was certain traits about the Corey boys, quiet, thoughtful, they don't talk a whole lot. It's not a whole lot of emotion shown until it's time to show emotion, and then we really show emotion. There's a lot of certain traits that just go along with being a Corey boy. So there's a lot to be said for the genetics, but I think as far as a connection to the people with whom you share those genes, I don't think that because you share those genes, there's any special connection there. I think the connection comes from how it is you view people in general. What the fuck do I know?
Yeah.
I like it. As I said, there's not just two sides to this coin. This is one of those hyperdimensional coins. Indeed, there's so many things that fit into this. I mean, there's generational things, as Liz just typed literally in chat. Awesome, Liz. You rock. And then Arwen typed, blood may be thicker, but it also spoils over time. Water is water forever until poisoned. Interesting take.
I like that.
But I like it for sure.
Arwen,
I
comments of the day.
No doubt. I'm going to have that in the show description. But yeah, I've definitely had friends that were closer than family members as blood members, or closer than blood members. And that truly, I had, cousins that was so close that that's who my child's named after. So, he was the best friend I ever had. So I don't know. It's hard because then there's the tribal thing, there's as you have there, the clan thing. There's the vibrational thing. There's the choices we made to come here and be with certain families to work through certain things. I know that I feel is a thing. So I've met many family members from that side of things, from the astral area, that I knew were family members in different ways that had nothing to do with blood or relationships, that were just people who were family from somewhere else. Just like when I met Debbie Jordan at the convention, there was no doubt that she was my family. We had experienced things together. I'd never laid eyes on her before that moment, but we knew each other and we hugged. We both said it, "I know you." And she's like, "Yep, I know you too." So, I mean, it's just one of those things that, you know, when you chose to come here, I think part of it is choosing either, I don't know. We don't have time probably to get into all that right this second. How much time do we have? We got a minute or two. I don't know. The choices, the decisions, the groups, the goals of growth that we set up before we got here. I don't know if you're into all that or not, but I think that plays a lot to do with it too. Some of these situations with families are that kind of thing to help you figure it out and grow from it. Because I certainly would do things differently now with my family, father, my, my older relatives that passed when I was still young and dumb and missed a lot of oral history, like what you were talking. I felt that tweaked me in a very deep soul place when you said that, because I was just recently thinking about family history that I wish I had somehow recorded or written down or had the sense as a kid to listen to with my great grandmother and stuff. So lost a lot of that just from wanting to be, whatever the TV was telling me to be at that age. So
I've got like 3 CDs, I think, compact discs, from the caveman days, of my grandmother sort of telling her oral history. And I've been considering just throwing it up on YouTube, just putting it up there. But I really wanted to get some pictures.
That would be awesome,
But
man.
I think that's going to be more work than I'm capable. It'll require a larger knowledge base of her history and those in it, and being able to identify them in a picture and put it all together. I think just the audio would suffice, because basically that's all I can do. But I think it's going to be really good. I've not listened to them. I know I've had them. It'd be a really strange experience for me hearing her voice, because I don't know that I've heard it since she passed 15 years ago.
You have to, man.
16 years ago. So it'd be pretty strange, probably a pretty powerful thing for me to sit down and listen to. So yeah, I think maybe I'll do that. I'll just pop them in the old drive here in the computer and upload them to YouTube. Yeah, that'd be really interesting. I really have no idea what she's even said on them. I've not ever listened to them. I remember my dad recording them. I think he used a actual tape recorder, because she was legally blind and listened to a lot of books on tape. And I think he had used her big recorder and just sat her down with a old like RCA microphone from back in the day and just had her start talking. Yep, I'll be real curious to see what the hell she says there. We've only got about a minute left before we hit our 4th and final segment of the show.
True.
All right, guys, I'm going to say cheers.
Oh, you heading out? Okay. Well, thank you for coming and being here with us,
I gotta go
man.
clean. Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. The kids are back in the complex I live, so it's gonna be extra noisy now. So I'm gonna say cheers, guys, and I'll carry on listening. I'm just gonna carry on with my cleaning.
Awesome. Thanks so much for hopping in here, Duma. I really appreciate it.
Love you, Duma.
Yep. Have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week.
Right.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Thank you, man. Awesome. Very awesome surprise for our next to last segment. I was going to say sort of last segment, but we're about to do that here in a minute.
Yes, we are. And I'm looking right now at a brand new blog post from Salamo that I might have to get into on the other side of the break.
Going to say, and we have Salamo in chat, so we might have to see what he's dropped for us. I saw he dropped it, but I haven't read it yet, so this will be a surprise for all of us. 2 surprises on a Tuesday. 2 Surprise Tuesday. That's what we're going to call it.
And
I did all kind of hand signs there. I don't know what I just summoned up.
They're
Sorry
gonna
about that.
Be all over us now. All the numbers you were dropping and flashing hand signs.
Dude, the numbers were nuts in that story. It was just too much. It's insanity.
Anyway, we'll be right back.
Extendivite, a 7-herb combination made from garlic, cayenne, hawthorn, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, valerian, and milk thistle. Extendivite feeds our body with the right nutrients to keep us healthy. Just listen to what Arthur has to say.
I was just calling to tell you what a great product you have. I had used this about, 10 years ago after I had congestive heart failure. And it fixed me up and got me going for the last 10 years. Lately, I've been having heart trouble again. So I placed another order because this was the only thing that ever worked. And I just wanted to let you know that you have a great product.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Jim Ram, retired. In early 2012, I was facing a laundry list of chronic health conditions that my physician was telling me were incurable. I knew there had to be a better way, and I learned how I could reverse every one of my ailments with science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. In just a few months, I was able to reverse high blood pressure, gastric reflux, sleep apnea, arthritis, degenerative disc disease, heart arrhythmia, AFib, and many more. And I've lost over 70 pounds and kept it off. Now I'm hosting a radio program that's dedicated to helping my listeners do the same. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you're sick of being used as an ATM by your doctor, then you'll want to tune into the Your DIY Health radio program here on Truth Frequency Radio every Thursday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern and 6 to 8 a.m. Pacific.
Real people, real radio. Wherever you are, make it TFR. Truth Frequency
Here's a message of importance to millions of people who are continually pale and washed out, weak and run down. Doctors will tell you that these conditions are often caused by a deficiency of iron. The iron you need to keep you physically fit and mentally alert. medical studies show that 2 out of 3 women and many, many men lack the daily iron your body requires, in a form your body can easily use and put to work. Every dose gives you more than your daily minimum iron requirement.
We are awake, we are awake, we are not alone. We are striving for more.
So if you're not getting the iron your body needs, if you feel weak, run down, and are easily upset, start taking iron today.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
How dare you?
Welcome back. Fourth and final segment of the Ironworx starting right now. Man, does time fly when you're having fun. This has been a fast show.
Yep, it kind of warped right on by.
So Slamo's recent blog post poses the question, so who do you want to be? Make sure you head on over to slamo.blogspot.com. Check out all the blog posts, not just this one. There is a plethora of posts from which to choose. But he wrote this on Saturday, the 5th of September, 2020. So who do you want to be? The question of the ages, is it not? And not in the, what do you want to be when you grow up way, which has the sole requirement of becoming like someone else as a marker for being grown up. I can be like a fireman, a CEO, a metal worker, a scientist, but most of all, a taxpayer. As long as you appear to be tending for yourself, following the rules and being a productive member of society. It's easier to believe in the normal since there seems to be rewards for going along. But who do you turn into? What do you sacrifice? What are you willing to give away? The remnants of what we could have been are but a distant memory, a fantasy, lost amongst the high-definition projections which have helped guide us to the point we now face. Mask. So who do you want to be? Well, perhaps we should define who we have become first. It sure is easy these days to come up with lists of things to point out about my species which would lead to a negative view, but I shall spare you this time and simply point out that there are plenty of prior articles which, you may find, elaborates my point. What we have become, what have we become but xenophobes, which live in fear of our death to the point of not living? Self-loathing to the point of accepting our own destruction. People so afraid of standing out that they go along to live in the shadows, even when then they feel it isn't right. Too afraid to speak, so as not to offend and be judged as one of those. What does that make us? Are we simply lying hypocrites? Are we the definition of cowards, which is threatened mainly by what we perceive others perceive of us? Are we continually creating our own demons to fear in order to feel anything which may resemble life? Do we grasp at any emotion in our deadened world in order to feel alive? Will we follow any authority blindly simply to feel part of something? Anything? Look around at where we are today and tell me that our world mindset has not deadened from life. Look into the eyes of your masked compatriots and tell me that they are not defeated within their very soul. Where is the life, the joy, love, and fortitude of my species? I believe that a part of the causation of that defeat can be attributed to the inability to define oneself honestly. The constant belief in external projections rather than self-reflection and amelioration. No, I'm not saying that right. I have made it simple for the solutions offered to find broad acceptance along with belonging and apathy. The fears presented are simply definitions of what one will accept of their ignorance. Fight or flight is not solely about its literal meaning. In this case, it can represent the apathetic laziness of mind which blocks the basics of questioning and therefore knowledge. I said the following last week in a discussion. Intelligence begins with the simplicity of questions. Too bad most believe that they simply need answers. In looking for those external answers, one simply continues to chase the tails of others which produce names and deeds, but does not reveal the how and the why of the matter, for those are choices made along the way. What sort of people made the choices that have us in their predicament, which involves us all at the moment? No matter where you are in the world, you are involved in this global operation on one scale or another, willingly or forcibly. There are players and there are pawns. Guess which we are. Without an honest definition, careful not to constrain, of me, how can I know the power I holds? The eyes of this world are the ones which know the power and the balance of the me and the we. They also comprehend the power of no. No, we will not live like this, said in unison, is all which would be needed to change the course of our current fate. The I knows not to be frivolous, wanton or childlike with their no's. They know the need to comprehend the basis and the morality of their no, and do not base it in selfishness, but rather of fortitude. Fortitude. Strength of mind that enables a person to encounter danger or bear pain or adversity with courage, as defined by Merriam-Webster. One may consider the opposite can be witnessed in today's short attention span theater. The short attention span which was developed throughout life to never be satisfied and therefore easily baited into behaviors and thought patterns centered around wants and desires. This can leave one never being satisfied with what one knows, which can lead to chasing many tails as well, as the easier acceptance of the new norms, forever distracted from acquiring real knowledge. The Great Awakening and alternative media are great examples of distractions for the thinker. For one can keep up with the programmed desires which feed the short attention span. What's new, what's the latest, what's trending, what's viral. As long as they can convince themselves of the difference in information, then they can feel elevated and above the programming of the masses. So many are left in different stages of awakening, seeing beyond the mirrored paradigm which alt has to offer, but scattered across the globe in varying stages of angst, poverty, loneliness, and health, while trying to maintain a decorum of stability to think clearly enough to try and view what lays beyond the mountains of distractions, the dramas. There sure seems to be a lot of things to fight about. You can't fight the external enemy because you will lose. The external enemy is simply presented for one to view themselves, to see what they have allowed to become, and to willingly break free and lead themselves to being free beings. To become your own hero as communities of individuals. The choice has always been ours. Every day which goes by now is another nail in the coffin of humanity. When will we scream no in unison and refuse to be ruled into oblivion? When will we stop moving our line in the stand and stand as free individuals? Again, Salamo.blogspot.com. Head on over there and check it out. Thank you so much, Salamo. Another very powerful piece.
Yes. It was great. I dropped the link to that piece earlier in the chat. I'll also include it in the show description and here on the YouTube description as well. Thank you, my friend. That was awesome.
Sorry, just recaffeinating.
And I was kind of playing catch up there in chat because I was reading along with you with the post. So I see a lot going on there in chat. Oh, you guys are awesome. I love y'all. What do we got left here? Just a few minutes.
Yeah, just a handful, 15 or so.
Well, I think there was some things we did want to get to in the pile that you put in the, you put pretty much everything there in the description, didn't you? I see that now. There was one, though, that I did want to address. I just don't know. Oof. Yeah, that might be a little lengthy. I think we'll save the consciousness stories for Friday. Oh, no, we're going to have guests Friday, aren't we?
I think we will be having guests.
That's true. Teaser. Who could it be? Powerful, awesome warriors from another continent, perhaps?
Hells yes.
Perhaps. Okay, so then we'll save that story or two because it's kind of lengthy as I'm looking at it. You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
It's a little deep, and it's something we should probably talk about. Maybe we could talk about it with our guests. So just different aspects of consciousness that have been topics of late in the media. But anyway, Our buddy Brian was in chat earlier, but I really don't want to talk about Pokemon. I just saw that story here too. That's, that was just more of a silly thing if we had time. And yeah, it's very silly. But anyway, Brian started playing recently, and his cousin, I think, also plays. And he wanted me to give him a little pointer or two, which I've kind of slacked off myself anyway on the game. Had more pressing things coming up. Superconductors are super resilient to magnetic fields, it would seem. But we need Zach for that one. Damn it. You got Zach. Because he's our resident magnetologist.
F that. I'm just going to call him.
Call that dude. Wake him up. Shoot, dude. What's the deal? What is the deal? We played the music tones. I see the story here about the music pitch. We've discussed that in the past a bit, how the overall universal tuning went from 28, I don't remember what it was now.
440 to 432.
432. That's what it was, 432. I went the wrong direction. It was 432 instead of the current 440. And I've had an app here and there that played stuff at 432. I've listened to different versions of songs on YouTube with the 432. And I mean, because I'm very sensitive to pitch, I hear it. I hear the difference. I hear the singer sounding a little off. So it does change it for me in ways that aren't enjoyable. So I quit using those apps. But when I play around with tones, pure tones, with tone generators and things like that, I definitely feel a difference between the 440 and the 432. But apparently it isn't really just down to flipping a coin on 440 or 432. Apparently throughout history, or at least according to this story from parttimeaudiophile.com, there have been numerous tunings, if you will, throughout history. In the Baroque period, Handel's tuning fork was at 422.5 hertz for A. In the Romantic period later, Verdi had a tuning fork that he used his 432 tuning fork, but there was another one. Where is it? Beethoven's tuning fork was tuned to 455.4 hertz, which is way higher. So that would sound even more bizarre and be really hard for singers to hear. And this is kind of what I've kind of seen throughout this long, lengthy article, is that it was adapted for singers to be able to not have to destroy their voices and not have to have a choir filled with castrati. So the lower pitch definitely helps. And I can verify that from being a guitar player. When I tune things down to flat E instead of standard E, it's definitely easier to play the strings. They don't have as much tension on them. And so the bands that use flatted E rather than standard E, those singers and those bands sound like they're really badass, and they are, but they're actually not hitting as high notes as the people who do standard tuning. Anyway, sorry, side note. But yeah, 455 would be pretty insane. But generally speaking, there is a push right now across music that's trying to work on changing it back, it would seem. And again, long article, and I know we're quickly running out of time here, but it's way longer than I thought it would be. Goodness. I'm trying to find, there was something here about the perfect sound. Let's see, what is it? Okay, so although the heyday, apparently the heyday of the movement is past, but there's still people that think the 432 is better. If you look up 432, you'll find yourself in a big online community who are talking about the miracles of the 432A, and it, again, does have some perks. So this person in the story tried it out and did, they're kind of like me. They heard the difference, but not really any great unfolding of inner peace so much. So I can hear the difference, but as far as if it does really do anything to me, I don't know. I really can't say. I know you were playing around with one of those apps at one point, Josh. Did you stick with it, or is it something you kind of let go to the side?
It's just something I kind of let go to the side. It wasn't really user-friendly. The GUI was just kind of goofy in the way it read files and organized things, and it was just kind of a big pain in the butt. I guess it was kind of nice being able to just automatically have it play all of your playlists, all of your music on your phone at 432 at just a flip of a switch. So you go back and forth and hear the difference.
A lot convenience, yeah.
But I think
I see Lucas there in chat plays in 432. I see playing with the extra higher pitch on the guitar would just seem more of a struggle for me as well. I guess. I don't know. I know right now I'm doing songs that have a lot more bendy notes in them. And over the years, being more of a shreddy type, speedy like guitar player, I guess. Not really. I'm not that great, but that's what I preferred to do. So I played a lot more quick notes than slow bendy notes with feel. So it definitely is different when the pitch is different on the strings, bending those notes first, as I said, just standard E versus E flat. I could just see it going up to 432 would make those strings even harder to bend, I'm guessing. I guess I'll do my own experimentation.
You still got that story up?
I do not, but I can go back to it. Boom, it's back now. What do you want?
All right, the very last paragraph, it starts with, I got curious. It's like the last couple sentences.
Right. Go ahead.
Go ahead, just read that out for me real quick.
I got curious and listened to a few recordings with the miracle tuning and felt a certain warmth to the sound, but not an unfolding of inner peace, right? Maybe it's my deification of Beethoven or just too much coffee.
I see. I didn't see the I because it's small font. You take the I out of deification, it becomes a whole different word. Never mind.
It does turn into a whole different word. So,
and that's the word that I saw. I'm like, why the hell is this dude defecating Beethoven?
That would have been a different story. A very different story.
Maybe I just need glasses. I've got my new hydraulic arm from my computer, so I'll be able to start doing shows standing up here one of these days. At the lift, I can just raise it and lower it. It's got the dual monitors that I can mount in a little spot for the keyboard, so I can just do it all and be able to adjust my microphone accordingly. So I won't have to be sitting down for entire shows. which will really help me in the morning when I still have to go do an 8-hour shift to work. I can get my blood pumping.
So at the bottom of that story, since you made me go back and look, I noticed there was a link for something called the GADGET. And apparently the GADGET is a new class of audio control. Well, it was new back in 2017, I see at the top of this little article. But apparently it was a control system for dynamic retuning of concert pitch. And it's intended to enhance the experience of recorded music. It dynamically retunes music to C256 hertz without altering tempo, and allows the user to change retuning frequency. And you can do an A/B with it. And I'm just trying to scan through this. So yeah, this was from SCHIIT Audio, SCHIIT, or it could be SCHIIT Audio. I'm not sure. Cost about $200 back in 2017. But I'm not really even sure if it's a plug-in, if it's something you set into a soundboard or a online-only type gig. So anyway, sorry, I'm not a big producer, as you can tell, musically.
So the commercially available versions with multiple inputs are expected to be released around the January of 2018 at a cost of around $200. So I'm not sure what that very simple, basic, the GADGET with one audio or one digital in and digital out basic piece of hardware is. I'd be real curious. That'd be kind of interesting. Wonder if there's anywhere that could still be found.
Shout out to Dawn in chat, who I lost my trail of thought because when I was saying that about playing with sound generators, I also used to listen to Cymatic, not Cymatic, because now I'm reading Ipsy's comment. Not Cymatics. There's a word for it. Biofrequency, hemisync. I'm going all around it. But anyway, it's the stuff you listen to that's supposed to help you in certain ways. And when I was healing from the wreck and dealing with lots of pain, I listened to some really good ones. And I can't remember the channels now, but they seem to be legit and worked. So I'm glad to hear that that's helping you. Don, the pain can be terrible. So glad you found that.
And there's Zach. With 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, an apology saying, sorry, did not hear it.
What's up, brother? Or is he here?
It was in the Skype chat.
Oh, I thought he was here on the show. Okay, because I'm typing hello to Martini and Rossi. What's up? Aggie. Anyway. All right. Well, I guess we're almost out of here then.
I think we are.
All righty. Well, Friday we have guests showing up in the morning if we can make that all work out between now and then. But since we have Adam on point for that, I think it should work out pretty good. Now, is it Rox and Asita? Is that the plan?
I think that's the Rox. That's the plan. Yep. Rox and Asita, and I think maybe even someone else.
Someone else? Okay, I was thinking that too, but I didn't want to speak out of turn, and I'm trying to find the post that Adam sent, and apparently I'm in the wrong chat. So my apologies, but we will definitely get in touch with them throughout of this day or so, and by Wednesday we should know for sure.
Stand Up X. An organizer of Stand Up X, I think, coming Friday morning. Yeah.
I knew there was somebody else, and I couldn't remember, and I feel terrible.
Still not sure. Yeah, I felt pretty bad, too, because I saw that message pop up, and I meant to respond to it, and
well, I did.
Got
lost. I responded to it, but I was on my phone, and I could have not sent it, so. Yes, organizer of Stand Up X. Okay, good deal. So, Rox, Asita, and another possible person.
Yes.
Awesome deal.
And then we have no idea what's going on for Friday afternoon on Have No Sphere. So maybe we'll either come up with something between now and Wednesday, or we'll just hash something out on Wednesday.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Walt. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Duma.
Kicking it old school. Love you, Duma.
Thank you, Chad.
Love you guys much. We will see you right back here on Friday morning for another exciting episode of the Ironworx on Truth Frequency Radio. Love you guys. Be good, be well. Stay human. Bye-bye.